Hi friends, so I am sitting out by the pool and was reflecting on my first 6 months of retirement. You know, if I could go back, I have thought of about 5 things I would do differently to plan for my retirement, and probably one thing I wouldn't do at all. It might be unpopular, but we'll see what you think. So I've got some notes that I'll look at, but the first thing is that I would have planned something really fun. I would have planned something to commemorate almost 4 decades of working for an employer in a bunch of different locations, but it was a long seasoned career. And outside of the general retirement party, I wish I would have planned something really fun. Other fun fact, at about the same time that I decided to retire was my husband and I were celebrating 20 years of marriage. So we really should have. We kept saying we were going to plan something, and we have not yet. Warning, Joe, there may be something in the works. But, we were in the midst of a little bit of chaos, and it wasn't terrible, but I only had a week to decide whether or not I was going to retire, and it was less than a month before I was gone. And so I had relocated temporarily to a little townhome in this location in order to work there, and so I had to exit that and get rid of the things that I had purchased, and we were rehabbing a condo that we had purchased that had flooded in a different location and getting it ready to sell. And so we had plenty of work projects to kind of keep us busy. There was lots of things going on, and I missed the opportunity to celebrate, and I really wish I would have. The other thing I wish I would have done is purchased some new clothes. And this may sound silly, but I had work clothes. I had clothes that I wore to work, and I had lounge clothes at home, and maybe some shorts or some t-shirts or whatever. But I wish I had thought in advance of what kind of life is this going to be and what outfits will support that. And not very many. I'm just thinking 2 or 3 that would have been kind of something to reset expectations, but also make you feel good and make you want to get up and get dressed in the morning, if you know what I mean. The third thing I wish I would have done is reached out to more people. And by that, I mean old friends, probably in the organization that I only had their work phones. Also old friends from the past life, and maybe set up some time. Maybe I could have made a trip there to set up some time to go see them. I think I missed out a little bit on planning for getting back to friendships rather than work friends, if you know what I mean. And I actually have a video that I'm thinking about with that, about how friendships work in retirement, because it's much different. So I wish I would have reached out to folks. The fourth thing I wish I did was I wish I had planned to try something new, but actually if it was going to be the painting, go ahead and have some things ready so that I would have maybe some supplies to get started with, or maybe take a little cooking class for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. Just something different to occupy my mind, because one of the things I've struggled with the most is, for someone whose mind is working all the time, at this age it's probably working slower, but it's still working all the time. I really needed more to occupy my time, and doesn't mean I was wishing to go back to work or was sad about the decision, but I think I wish I had planned something in that regard that would have been a little bit fun and interesting and something to challenge me. And the last thing I wish I would have done is committed to some kind of strict scheduled movement, if you will. I think we underestimate how much time or I'm sorry, how much movement we get in our days, going from this meeting to that meeting, down the hall, talking to someone, meeting somebody that's come in for a meeting. Even with a desk job, I think we're up and down a lot more than what we realize. And so I wish I would have committed to some kind of organized, scheduled stretch, or, prescribed walk or something, because I was way too lax about it early on. And then the thing I wish I wouldn't have done, and I love these puppies. I don't know. Oh, she's walking around the pool. I adopted 2 rescue dogs in, I want to say by about May. So just a couple months after I retired. And I wish I would have waited about a year to adopt these puppy dogs. Now, I love Maggie and Sophie, and they're not going anywhere. We've adopted them, they're ours. But it makes planning for, a trip or going and doing something this year a lot more complicated, right? And so I wish I would have waited on that. So that's my list. 5 things I'd do differently heading into retirement, and 1 thing I wouldn't do at all. What's your list? Maybe this gives you some ideas if you're getting ready to head into retirement. But if you're already there, what do you think about the list? Are there other things that you would consider or offer up for folks? I think that it's a rich place in the comments to get to exchange ideas with people who are not like us. It's great to have a bunch of different folks around. And so I love that part of this little gig. I don't know where the pups are. There they are. There they are. Just looking around. All right. Well, thank you for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.